Yes. Okay. So,
One.
guys, we'll start about something different. Go. In the meantime, I will share with you some kind of experience because I was in the last year in Digital Dragons. Who was in the last year in Digital Dragons? Raise your hands. Okay. Who remembers the Klaus Szczerbiński lecture about storyboards in? Yes. Oh, guys, love ya. Who actually tried to develop and introduce the storyboard pipeline inside your company from the last year? No one. Yes, we. Yes, we, the Hawks. And the same question for you guys. If you work on the game dev, you working on the game dev? No? Yes? Okay, me too. So, do you use storyboards inside of your pipeline? For anything? Storyboards? Okay, it's still storyboards. For gameplay, for cinematics, for everything, do you use it? Have you used it? You. Someone else?
Hello, Ryder Downey.
Yes, raise your hands, please. Because I'm very curious how many of you actually use something that came from the film industry.
Sorry for my colleague. Technical difficulties is now done. We fix it, so you can come here.
Okay,
and we
thank
can
you very much.
start presentation. Sorry, guys.
Okay, so let's go and hit the button.
Hello, Ryder Downey. Donnie, hello, Ryder.
All my friends know the low rider. The low rider is a little higher.
Okay, guys. So welcome on Pixels and Frames. My name is Kamil Pohl, and I am film director and cinematic director in Flying Wild Hog. And this is Patryk. He's a beautiful design DOP as a director of photography in film industry and also cinematographer in Flying Wild Hog.
Hi, guys.
Hi. We are two guys. Oh, it's your slide.
Yeah, we have almost 15 years experience. Actually, Kamil is 20 years experience because he's a little bit older in film industry. Our experience include VFX, feature films, commercials, everything that you. Kamil is also a little bit connected to theater and concerts as well, right?
Yes, concerts, stage theater, stage
musicals, I think.
Musicals also, the Pilots and Peter Pan in Gdynia. If you are in Gdynia with kids in Peter Pan, this is my musical. I was designing all the animations in the back.
Yeah, so we want to share on this presentation with you how games and film industry collide to each other right now and how one takes some good parts from another one. And yeah, let's move on.
Let's dive into it.
Basically, pixels. Everyone knows what is pixels, right? It's a fundamental unit of digital visuals. Frames is like it's the basic thing in movies, right? Because frames create movement. Nowadays, it's also colliding because we are using in the film industry. We are using pixels as a digital form. How to record? Even here, we have cameras. They are digital, and those two words are going together more and more and more.
Yeah, this is pretty basic, so everybody knows that. But let's dive into history about that. So we have a timeline of here, and this is the timeline of the movie industry. We have the 1895 and the first steps in the cinematography. Now we have 2024, which is also obviously like the evolution of the cinematics. But we still have the second timeline, which is the game industry, game dev industry, early 60s or late 50s, and then today's. Now, those two timelines are shorter, right? This first one is very long one, the second one is teeny tiny in compared to the film. But yet, all this evolution is almost the same.
Yeah, you will find this beginnings are quite the same.
As you see, black and white movie, great special effects, absolutely astonishing scenography, like Oscar-made acting. Wow, something great.
Everything practicals.
And practicals.
No VFX.
Yeah, no CGIs, no computers, only people enjoying their life. Really, something true cinema, true emotions.
And like beginning of games, we didn't choose the beginning like Pong or something like that, because I think our conversation about cinematics and everything, like emotions, could be a little difficult about Pong, but probably it created a lot of emotions during the day that they were created. So the connection is this.
Yeah, this is the good example of the first like cinematic style approach in game design.
We have mute movies, right? As in the early 19th century, 20th century, we have the same, right? It was mute, no voice acting, no voiceovers. It was all about like piano MIDI stuff and subtitles.
Static cameras.
Static cameras. Yeah.
It's all the same. Now we have quite different
A little
approach.
difference.
Little,
Yeah.
teeny tiny. You can see, like this black and white movie have a colors. We add some music. We add camera movement. We add acting, a little more realistic, like. But in games.
In games, we are doing the same right now. The trailers of games are like movies.
The killer left the heart next to the body.
This summer.
This wasn't some random act of violence.
One man,
This was a ritual.
one decision. Epic Games presents.
A page of text. Written with a typewriter.
So yeah, this is a great example of approach.
Someone's
Like
been
the
watching
cinematics came with full film background inside of the game, but later we'll explain that more.
Great game, great example, great cinematic experience.
Okay, we have two worlds, movies and games. Imagine that we have like we are in the 1985 or 1991. This is two separate worlds. The film industry says, oh, the computers, we don't like it. The game industry says, oh, film industry, no, we want to stick our size in our computer and play Tetris.
What's Russian?
That's Russian. I don't know why I say it in Russian. I can say in German. But the next thing in the 90s was that. Movies and games try to reach to each other. Why? Because of the audience. The audience expects more. In Sigurd 2013, I speak with the guy who was responsible for the Return of the Jedi, the flying of the Millennium Falcon inside of the Death Star. He was the guy who created the stills photography for that, all the sequence. And he became the engineer in ILM responsible to composition the Jurassic Park, the first 3D animated creatures. And he said that the idea come from the game. Not from their heads, the game. They actually think about that, hey, the computer, the game, let's dive into that. So now, what do we have here from movies? We have storytelling, we have camera work, lighting, pacing and editing, we have VFX and CGI animation, and of course we have marketing. Marketing is a very important thing, because marketing in the film industry was the first approach, not the game industry. But from the game industry...
Yes, the thing that for movies that's very tempting is like non-linear story, real-time rendering. Actually, in movies we have real-time rendering. It's called live action with actors, everything. Player choices impact story that in movies you cannot do it. Basically, what director invent is that you have to like it or not. Basically, that's the principle of that. Unique art style. Nowadays, this boundary is a little bit vanishing, I think, because thanks to CGI, we can create more complex worlds and everything. But for a long time, it was very, very, very difficult to create what worlds in the games was created before, right? long-time immersion. That's the point. Movies, 2 hours, 3 hours. In 3 hours, everyone is, moving in the chairs. Maybe with the good movie, no. But with most of the movies nowadays, is no go. Games, basically, you can spend games all night, all day, just Red Bulls, only after 18 years old, of course, in Poland. Red Bulls, and you can go. And if game is good, you can go on with this. And indie productions are creating something unique, right? It's like more and more stuff that, for example, AAA games are like remaking. Indie productions are creating something new or trying to create something new.
And still in the film industry, we have like experimental cinema, but experimental cinema does not have such kind of impact as we have in the games. Sometimes teeny tiny indie studio says, whoa, and Call of Duty, nah, I want to play this one. Yeah, in film industry, it's very difficult to achieve that kind of effect.
Yeah, our work that we switch to the game industry is basically because we think those two words are the future.
It's the future.
Yeah, so evolution of storytelling. First movie that Brothers Lumiere created was, on one of the first movies, was going train into the station. People basically, when they watch it for the first time, they run off on their chair because they thought it's real. And now it finds like a little silly, but it was like that then, right? And then from this, people want to tell stories, but people always tell the stories. But problem was that everyone was thinking during the story, was thinking about something else. Challenging thing in films is like linear storytelling, focus on plot, as you can see. Games are totally different. It's very unique approach of this. This is like the tree, right? The branches, like the character development, impact stories and everything is like more complex. And it's basically what movie want to do, because now it's very hard for movies to get the audience, right? Everyone is bored about that.
Yeah, and the one final word is the game and the possibility to change the storytelling from linear to interactive is so tempting to us filmmakers, very, very tempting. So we would love to have movies, actual movies, with the possibilities to have interactive storytelling as the games have. But still, call it movies, because game and movie is something different.
Yeah. Next thing is technology swap.
Oh yeah, the technology is crucial part. Motion capture was invented by ILM in the 1980s, but still is now the most usable part in the game dev industry. We use mocap for everything. Like, I remember that someone records the actual bat, flying, like in the 2002, I think. Horses, dogs, everyone can use mocap. So motion capture is something that used the James Cameron for Avatar, but then he realized that motion capture is not enough, so we need to have the virtual camera. And he invented the virtual camera, like full professional virtual camera. It was something like I said, oh my God, really? We can do that? And not like the technology, the pipeline, connections, like, everything what's behind that invention. And then, poof, we have that now in the game industry, but it came from the game industry also because of the technology, sorry.
Yeah, and basically CGI, VFX, it was like since 40 years it's with us in film industry, and everything is very, very similar to what we are doing in the games. And this also boundary is like dissolving right now because of thanks to the real time and everything. For my example, I work on lot of virtual productions right now because this technology after Mandalorian is so tempting for everyone, because previously you have to build big set with blue screens with everything and change it in post. For actors, it's nightmare because director is coming and then, look, there will be a spaceship and it's very tiny, but it will be very big. And good actor can imagine this, but they don't know how the spaceship looks like or something like that, And now, basically, they see all environment. If they are on the desert, they can feel heat, like heat. They can imagine how to feel the heat, right? This is an example of virtual production.
不就还是晚了一些，别的我不都干了？
但你没洗碗，我说的是你没洗碗的事儿，别扯。
Actually, it's very complex
让你干
because
点
also
真
it's
正的工作
very
回
very
去洗碗
typical.
听到没？
And I remember after Mandalorian, everybody says, "Oh my God, it's something impossible to achieve." Right now in Warsaw, we have like 4 studios to use
我对
that.
你不够好吗？
It's very cheap right
就是
now.
养条狗一
It's
样
much cheaper to shoot it at an actual set.
shooting is cheap. Creating the environments is
I
also
know,
cheap.
but still with the quick sales stuff, you can do everything.
Yeah. But look at this. For actors, basically they're upside down and they can feel like they are upside down with this everything. And this two words are really is, you know, for me it's like the sandbox because I can, yeah. Oh, it's fake.
One take. Crazy.
This is an example of Black Mirror. Probably most of you seen trailer or the full movie of this. It was one of the first attempts of immersive interactive movies. I don't feel it was successful, I think, but it's good, very good example, proof of concept, how in movies we are trying to create this immersion, this interactive, you know, impact that viewer choices impact the story, right? For me, it's not the best example because it's only 2 hours long, and you cannot feel like in a game, that you cannot feel like the character in the game because you only choose, like it's a very basic role-playing game in the 90s or something like that.
This is the typical problem as the filmmakers do. So we try to say to the viewers, "Hey, it's very interesting. It's like your game you're playing," but still we don't have any controllers over the character. You can see emotions, not actually feel the emotions, to create the emotions by movement. It's not The Last of Us.
You're talking about The Last of Us, okay?
Yes, I'm talking about The Last. Oh, really?
Ooh, The Last of Us.
I didn't expect that slide.
Yeah, The Last of Us, great example of emotional storytelling in game, connecting gameplay with cinematics, basically everything. We are little fanboys of this, you know. So
I think every
Sorry.
filmmaker who knows the game industry referring was the best game storytelling driven. The Last of Us, not the second, the first one.
yeah, and later God of War concept of father and son, very emotional. One take, it's very cinematic because the concept of one take. It's I don't know. For me, I think it was the first attempt of this, that the whole game is like one take. Is, you know, like the very fluent going through the gameplay to cinematics. Cinematics are, you know, the whole technical aspect they did from this, that you felt like, you know, like Kratos, and you know, you felt that you want to save this boy, and this very complex emotion that you want to show in this. And Red Dead Redemption. I don't know if you all played in that, but ending. I felt like 1 week I had to go to my therapist, you know, to go back to this normal world after ending.
I
will not tell you because I don't know if everyone played it. He didn't,
alert.
so
I did.
you did.
I did, but I never finished that. Yeah. I have one more example of like inverse idea. So the Gravity, the beginning with Sandra Bullock, the film Gravity. Have you watched that? The Gravity, okay. So we have like 15 minutes, one take, flying around her and flying inside her to her helmet, and it takes like I think it is a 15-minute one take. It doesn't came from like, hey, I have an idea, let's do it on the one take. No, it came because the viewers expect that, and the viewers was learn from the games.
Yeah, basically because in game we have one take, right? If we don't have
Definitely.
fade in, fade out cinematics, it's one take.
And even if you have a gameplay sometimes has 2 hours, one take. It's one take.
So let's jump into the rise of cinematic game.
Yes. Cutscenes for narrative depth. Yeah. Well, we have a problem with the narration in the games because sometimes it's not so clear watching the characters from back. or side, or even in your POV, what's the emotions we can see, right? It's very hard to achieve that. So that's why we can use the cinematics or cutscenes. But it's not so simple to have fade in. Hey, this is the cutscene. Okay. Skip. And then we can go. No, it's not so easy. So for us, the main goal is to have transition, full transition, and stick the pace of the gameplay inside of the cinematics, then out, go for the gameplay, and then back to another cinematics or QT or something like that. So the cutscenes are for narrative depth, something you cannot show actually in the gameplay. Like, I am your character. I'm sad. I'm happy. I'm very angry. Okay, I'm angry. But this is, this is not acting. We want to show acting.
It also was complicated with, all performance act and everything, because it's basically about the budget in game, right?
Yes. So the cinematics are focusing on complex emotionally resonant characters. We want to have the close-ups to show the tear in his eyes or her eyes or it eyes or something like that. We want to show the emotions between the characters. It's like still The Last of Us, Ellie. Not Ellie and Joel, but also Joel and teeny tiny Alice. Alice? She was Alice?
Sarah.
Sarah, sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah, but those two languages, cinematic language and game language, are very, very close to each other right now, because in film we are making more and more complex camera movements, more and more telling stories without cuts. Like in gameplay, basically. In games, we are doing the same. We are working on a project that we also are thinking, how we don't have to have the fade in, fade out, or like cut, or if it's cut, it has to mean something, and so on and so on. And also characters are more complex to build with this.
Yeah, and also when we have this knowledge about we want to show the emotions, then we can realize that we can show our main hero, who is the big guy, like emotions for the first time. And if you want to show him, and he can like be, oh, I am the guy, I'm sad, okay, it's done. Or we can show it like this. Everything fits. Everything, including cinematography, acting, including emotions. Someone says we need to show his inside, like onions.
Show, don't tell.
Show, don't tell, definitely. So we need to uncover what's inside. And this inside is what you can see. It's mixing great directing, absolutely great acting performance, cinematography, like in real movies.
Before I show the next slide, I want to talk about this a little bit, because for me it was mind-blowing what they did, basically, how they created the complex and multidisciplinary piece of art with this little level that they created, how they connected everything together, and it was gameplay, it was music, it was live action footage, everything. So let's jump into the example from Alan Wake.
What the hell? From what I've gathered, you grew up nice and sheltered with mama's pretty stories and your own made-up fury. And mama gave me a magic clicker. Well, yes, I think it's true and fair to say.
You can see how they invented this, like, you know, live action actors inventing, like inviting you to go. There is like something new coming up around the corner, and this, I love it.
It's very theatrical stage. We did the same in every musical. We have like the screens, we have music, we have tempo. It's actually musical. This is musical.
Lighting is like stage lighting.
Stage lighting.
Yeah.
Guys, imagine that you are on the theatrical stage audience, and this is something, and you have the performance, dancing actors on the stage, and this is on your back, like this real scenography, digital scenography. So the Alan Wake is a pure example. Connection, gameplay, cinematics, film industry,
Storytelling.
musical, storytelling, everything in one piece, in one picture. This is a good example. And another part.
You probably know those guys.
I think most of you. Why we showed that? Because the talent is the half of the success. When you have a talent people in the times of that, when you hire that, of course, marketing, everybody loves Keanu Reeves, and you can pay like lots of money to earn a lot of money of the marketing. But if you change Johnny from Keanu Reeves to someone else, you will have, I don't know, different effect. I don't know, similar, not similar, but okay, you're breathtaking. It's Keanu Reeves. So you need to choose carefully your talent. If you choose the talent with everything, because this is full body performance capture, it is full capture actually of the soul of this talent.
Yeah, my example is a great example because I work in Flying Wild Hog almost a year. I was invited to this company by Magda and Kamil. Of course, after HR and everything, it was like that. So I had to do the test and everything because they want to add something to the cinematics. Because I'm the big guy and I can handle camera with a lot of hours, overtime, everything. So maybe because of that, but I don't think so. The thing is that if you're choosing to make a cinematics and you choose to collaborate with someone that I'm a gamer. I was playing games since I'm little, PlayStation 1, Pegasus. I don't know if everyone is familiar with that. It's almost official Nintendo in Poland. Gray zone, a little bit. I was a gamer from 90s at least. And now I'm basically making my dreams come true thanks to this decision because I can make very, very complex stories that I could not do in the film industry in Poland. Collaboration between us, between me production, between all of the teams around in our company is very, very similar that I did before. It's they squish me. I like it. They would squish me like a lemon, my knowledge and everything. I think I learned a lot from them. And I think thanks to that, like taking people from film industry and actually even after party, first day party, I met a couple of writers that I work on the short films before. They work in the game industry right now. So the talents acquisition from films are quite like, because for me it was a shock. I asked my colleague that, what are you doing here? Yeah, I was playing Disco Elysium and I love it and I want to work in the game industry and it's so much so fun to hear that story.
The film industry wants to join the game dev community because we love to play games.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we have a knowledge. You have a knowledge. We have a knowledge. We can combine that knowledge because I think me as a director, I can direct. I can lead the visual storytelling inside, like everybody can do. But I have a lot of experience. Patryk, as a cinematographer, can do cameras, like everybody can do, but have an experience. Some people have a great programmer abilities, like be a good programmer. Like
lighting
artist. Okay,
yeah.
programmer is a bad example. Not anybody
artist,
can be a programmer. Okay, sorry, my mistake.
So I met a lot of gaffers, like lighting technicians that work in film industry after like ton of years spending on the film set. Probably they are tired because we wake up at 4 a.m. and we work at like till the 8 p.m. Right? It's quite a lot of things, and they don't have most of the country they don't pay overtime. So I'm 20 years old and I look like 40. So, so you know that's why, because of the overtime. Let's jump on the next one.
Gameplay, it's not versus storytelling. This is the main part that we realize joining the game dev community, that the gameplay is not against the storytelling. The gameplay is something like extending the storytelling. Sometimes my colleagues from the film industry says, okay, gameplay is boring, we can like arrange the game, quick gameplay, lots of cutscene. We love to see the cutscene. Players said opposite. They have right. It's our intention to have the gameplay to be connected and be similar to our cinematic job and have the same value inside of the game.
Yeah, let's compare it.
Yeah. Film.
Idea. Game. Idea.
Script. Storyboard. Talents. Mock-up talents. This is quite different. Talents are mock-up talents. You need to learn how to play on mock-up. Director, still you have directors. It's many people, it's not one. Cinematographer and art director, this is art director and a look dev in the game industry. We have film production, we have game production. We have post-production, we have QA, we have red carpet and champagne. Here we have a game release in Champagne, maybe probably with a red carpet. And we need
money.
Money.
A lot of money, or not a lot, but
I think more. A lot, more than film. Even more, a lot, like more. But still, what we have is a linear script in a film and multi-action script in game, which is much far interesting for us. Linear production and non-linear production, because everything is designing in the same moment. In film industry, we have like storyboards, scenography, lighting, setup of the camera, shooting day, post-production, premiere. In game dev, we have like idea, premiere. This is it. Simple chain of command. This is something in film industry like tradition. We have more complex chain of command. We have many decision people because the game dev is full of great dealing artists and really, what I say, you have art director, his artistic vision, but still you have guy who is a programmer said, hey, I have this one picture, and everybody says, oh my God, this is so cool. Let's do that. And yeah.
I can compare film industry to the being in jail and in army. You have jail jokes and hierarchy like in army. That is not like this in the game industry.
Yep.
It's more complex. Directors are multiplying, so you are talking to directors and you feel which director you are talking to. Oh, a lot of them, you know. Like
everyone?
Everyone. I'm talking. I feel voices.
So, yeah. So in film we have years of tradition. Yeah, like years of tradition. We know how to make films. Our grandparents make the same way films. In the game industry, oh my God, every year, sometimes every half of a year is something new.
But it's very good because tradition, it's not always the best thing if you are not, it's not evolution, right? Because we are doing the same thing. We are stick to 25 or 24 frames per second. In games industry, if you have 24 frames per second, it's like something is like, hey, we are performance, hey, we have bad performance, something is going on bad.
It's a bug, not a feature.
Exactly. So I think that this is how film industry could learn from the games, right? To be more innovative, more, evolutionary, revolutionary even.
All because we have not so complicated technology in the terms of film. Like we have cameras, lighting, and post-production, which is the same from like 30 years. Like technology is changing. Yeah. But in game, oh my God, we have very complicated technology.
And every year or every month is something new, right?
Yeah. And everybody says, okay, let's use that. But it's alpha. Okay, but can we use that?
If in films, if I want to blow something up, I need dynamite, basically. Oh, yeah. And I cannot iterate this thing because if something is, damaged, something disappeared, it's next one, and it's very time consuming. In games, it's also time consuming, but it's easier to iterate. Mm-hmm. to find new solutions, to find new ways to create something, to add something. In films, we have a guy that saying to us like, okay, back off a little bit. Okay, maybe 1 meter more, 1 meter more, 1 meter more, because they always like to put something from their side, you know, a little sip or something. And this like tiny thing that they want to create is coming big atom bomb particles as effects.
That's why in the film industry we love to use more and more practical effects.
Yeah, like Christopher Nolan, he's a fan of practicals.
He's furious when somebody says CGI. He said, "Oh my God,
atom
get
bomb.
out!"
Yeah. Story emotions are most important thing in games.
Well, the great game can exist without like story emotions and a complex story. Really, it can. I don't know it does, but it can. It can be. In a film, when you don't have any emotions, you have like flat picture.
Yeah, directors we mentioned before. So let's jump to the next one. It will be like showing how we think the future will be in the film industry. We don't know if it will be like that, but we think will be more and more like that because we are living in the remix era. Everything is remake, but since last year or 2 years before, that thing created new way to approach game in the films. This is a great example of this. We are fanboys of Last of Us, right?
Yep.
Eddie, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. Come on. No. No. No, no. Please.
Hello.
Sick!
I got 2 civilians by the river, one of them injured. Ankle.
What about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you somewhere safe first. Then we'll go back for him, okay? Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat. Hey, no one told you to move. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're not sick. Sir, we are not sick!
I'm sorry.
Please don't. No. Okay. You're okay. You're okay. Move your hand, baby. Move your hand. Oh, I know, baby. I know. I know it hurts. Come on.
The reason why we're showing this comparison, I know everybody watch the HBO series, I think, and most of you play the Last of Us and know the scene. The game is from 2013, I think, and the show is like 10 years later. But still, the framing, the acting, the pacing, all of this almost the same. The HBO director and the showrunner says this is the most important scene in this show, let's leave that the same.
Baby girl, I gotta get you.
The same, almost the same.
Yeah, both punch you in the gut, right?
Yeah.
Both doing the same. Both are equal. It's not like one is better than another one. Both telling that emotions are there. That's the most important thing that we want to show in cinematics, in game, basically.
So I remember my personal note about here. When I first played this game, I have like 3 months old daughter sleeping in the next. You just realize my reaction when I first played that in 2014, because I played that 1 year later, and I experienced that as a young father. You know, come on. And the next example is something really different. This is something new because this is Las Vegas Fair. This is concert of the U2, and this is the example how the real-time rendering, real-time engine, all this what we can learn in the game dev industry came not even in the film industry, but in the stage industry. Like you have concert, like U2, Bono singing on the stage. You can do everything, but he choose the interactive graphics in the back, synchronized with the music, synchronized with this tempo, pacing and stuff. This is something similar, but this screen is so huge with this technology, very large, like sphere, okay? It needs to surround the viewer. You need to be dive into immersion world of this U2 song, blah, blah, blah. And this is very slow. Sorry about that. Sorry, this example is very slow, but this is something that we can learn from game dev industry, from CGI industry to, hey, we can show something more than ordinary light, scenario light, effects or something like that.
I know one person that was there during this concert, and she told me that basically it was like everyone did like this. When this effect came, after this it was the rocket ship launch, everything was so immersive. It's not AR, it's not VR, it's something new, and I think future could be like that.
Reaction, where you're sitting on the stage and something approaches you from the big screen like "Wah!" is similar as a 100 years reaction at the train approach on the station in the Lumiere brothers movie. So conclusions. The future of augmented reality and virtual reality, like technology in film industry, as a bridge for immersion. This is something that we, as a film industry, develop right now. Immersion without heavy glasses or technical, like phones or something like that. We want to achieve this immersion without extra hardware on your face and still learn from the game dev.
Yeah, and film industry finally acknowledged that the games are not only, nerds or something like that, because it's not true. Stories are great, writers are great, narrative teams are great. Everyone that's creating games basically are very talented persons, and film industry finally is taking something from it, not treating it like, okay, it's like lower art. It's not, it's higher art. It's 11 Muse, right? It's something new, something innovative, and they should and they are learning from the game industry finally.
So this is the final note from us. Games and movies have become one. We use the same ideas. We use the same artists. Emotional and immersive experience, we have the same. And we use the same technology. So right now we are on the beginning of the next huge leap with the mankind to join the game dev industry to movie industry, to bond together. And I think in the next 10, 15 years, we will not have film industry, game dev industry, we will be one punch, one solid punch, who will deliver to the viewer, not player, not cinema viewer, the viewer experience, emotional experience. Because games are emotions. Even Tetris put emotions. I destroy my Tetris. I have like 12 years old. Smash it on the ground. It's emotion.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Now, okay. Now is Q&A time. Someone wants to ask something. Please use the microphone over there.
Hi, I wanted to ask you about graphics quality in games, because I know you are more about like camera play and stories and emotions, but I'm a graphics programmer, and I wanted to ask you from your film perspective, what is the mostly missing in the real-time graphics of games to reach the full photorealism, like in movies?
Yeah. It's uncanny valley right now, because this thing is more blurred right now. It's coming more and more blurred, and games are trying to be more and more photorealistic. I'm not a big fan of this. Actually, today is the release of the Hellblade, right? And it's I read the reviews that it's like astonishing visually, sound, everything is great, but the gameplay is pure. So the question is, it's like a movie. Movie can have a great cinematography, but without story, without great script, it will not be the great piece, right? I think the same thing is coming to game. Game with great graphics, could not be. Yeah, I think the graphics. It doesn't have to be the great game, and I think in 5 years probably this photorealistic will be this gap will vanish and we'll be crossing this valley, right? So yeah,
I think it's seasonal. Well, sometimes you choose the photorealism like super uber photorealism, and in next 5 years, who knows? Maybe we will go for I don't know, 2D shadow theater or something like that. That's gonna be something that is modern and cool and vibe.
Great example is Animal Well right now. It's hitting the charts. It's like in Steam is like top notch, and it's very nostalgia pixel art stuff created by one person. For us it's very important. The graphic is important because we want to see those little blend shapes, everything in the face, because it's telling emotions. But I don't think every game should have futuristic graphic.
Thanks.
No problem.
My question is about what you kind of referenced at the very beginning, which is that movies are right now kind of not as maybe enticing to audiences as video games. And for that reason, I beg the question is like, so then what makes you think that adding more cinematic language into video games is going to draw more people into video games instead of making them strictly more interactive? And yeah.
So the question is about why we think that adding more cinematics in the game will be a better game, right?
Yes, taking away interactivity from video games, because there's like games like, for example, Fortnite that are very popular, and they don't utilize as much cinematic language. So what makes you think that they will merge movies and games into one if the more popular ones are the less cinematic ones that utilize less of the cinematic language?
It still depends from the idea for the game. If you have the idea like the Fortnite, which is like the shooter, and you have the open world and fighting with other kids on the line, this is something that doesn't need cinematics, except you have intro for new characters or something like that. We call it trailer. But if you have story-driven game, even you don't need cinematics back there. What you need is a good creation of storytelling inside, based off the film concept. Because film is something familiar to us, right? You learn about emotions through books and films right now. You don't go to school and someone says, the love looks like this. No, you read the books, you see the paint, photographs, and then you watch the movies. And the movies is something similar to games. So the cinematics can help you develop that. It's a very natural way. But if you think about like the visual storyteller and grab some information from the film industry and try to arrange this story like in cinematics, you could avoid cinematics if you create perfect gameplay who are played like cinematic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi. My question is, do you think that in the future indie games might be in the same trouble like indie films and experimental films are in right now, regarding their success being mostly limited to the critical acclaim and not really financial acclaim in that vein?
Great question. I think production studio from States, A24, is showing us that indie films could be successful, and but you have to have an idea for creating those because they don't use a lot of money. They basically are always under the budget of big films, but the most crucial thing is idea. And they started from horror movies. That is, as you probably all know, it's not the big genre that everyone likes, everyone likes, and everyone watch it. But they are always creating something new, something innovative in the way of storytelling, or inviting directors that are they didn't made the movies before. They probably they made as a example everything, everywhere, and nothing. I think
all at once.
All at once, exactly. This is the great example of commercial music video director creating feature film. It's crazy. Not everyone likes it, but it's innovative, and it's and basically they sold a lot of in the box office. So I think this is the great example of how this approach could change also for the video games. Indie, it's right now it's big bubble, right? That everyone are aware that everyone can create games, because the entry level for the game industry also lowered. Also in the film industry, because you can buy cell phone, iPhone, and you have raw image. You can create movies from this, right? But the great ideas, great stories, great it will create your basically what you want to show and give you success. I think.
I think in the film industry and in the game industry is something similar, that you don't need all this technology mumbo jumbo to achieve success. You can need only this of course, and a couple of friends who can help you with I don't know, recordings, setting a film set or something like that. And in game the same. So I think it's not gonna be like indie will die in a couple of years. I think someone will came with another idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think it's done. So thank you, Patryk. Thank you, Kamil.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank
Nice
you.
to be here.